Welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Destiny. I'm so excited to have you guys back. Okay, so as you guys know, I took a trip and I decided to take what would typically be referred to as like a momcation. Granted, I had more like emotional baggage that I was trying to work out at the same time, but overall it was a momcation. The true definition of momcation is really, like, as moms, we know when we go on vacation with our family, it's never truly a vacation, like a relocation of doing what we're already doing at home. So I knew that I needed to kind of step away from what I was doing at home and recharge, gather myself together, and come back full force. That's typically just how I operate as a person. I just sometimes need like a weekend pick-me-up, and then I kind of can get back on the roll of things. I tend to be really resilient in a lot of situations, so I am very much like I can pick myself up if I need to. But I also need given the opportunity to recharge, which is super hard, as we all know. We decided it would be good for me to take a few days by myself and go somewhere where I could get some sunshine and just kind of quiet time to be able to read and kind of decompress. I chose Sanibel, Florida. And the reason why I chose Sanibel was because I have family and friends in a close proximity to the island. So I was still accessible to be able to get visitors if I needed to. But I was far enough where I still felt alone and just kind of was able to get my quiet time. So I have 5 main reasons why us moms need what I and most of us refer to as a momcation. 1. Recharging is imperative as a human being. Forget being a mom, forget being a wife, forget being everything. Just as a human being, it's simply important to be able to recharge. We need to be able to put our worries aside for just a few hours, whether it's 24, 48, 72 hours, and we just need to be able to mentally decompress. Definitely do that for that alone. 2. We have found that spaced apart between myself and my children, myself and my husband, even though it was, my trip was 5 days, so it was probably 2 days too long. But I found that I am well missed at home, and I miss them. And I'm gonna be quite frank with you guys, I was concerned that I wouldn't. I was concerned that I was so burnt out that I wasn't gonna miss my family, and that concerned me. So I was literally relieved when I would FaceTime them or just get text messages from my husband that I don't typically get because we're like day-to-day life, that we kind of take that time out to like remember the I love yous and I miss you. So that was pretty cool. Feel like I'm going back home more appreciated. Definitely I feel the love, and it is true. Day to day you kind of wonder, am I a loved parent, or am I just like this default mommy does all parent, and like no one kind of should pay attention to that person. So it was a relief that I was able to miss my home. 3, on a vacation we don't have to cook. I know for me, I know the last couple months has been like rougher with like my kitchen and like me cooking as much, just because I honestly did not have the physical capacity to like just get up and move more than what I needed to. But being able to go out to eat and dine by yourself, I don't know why this is like a really taboo subject for especially women, but like, girl, dine by yourself. It is truly liberating to be able to sit at a table, have a drink, eat your appetizer and your entree or your whatever it is that you're there for, and not have to clean up little people's mouths or order for little people. And you can read a book and you can watch Netflix and you could just be alone. There is a balance of being alone and being overly accompanied, and you don't want to be alone all the time, but you don't want to be overly accompanied all the time. So just finding that balance is imperative. 4, it's important to have fun. It is important for us to be able to take time out and do what makes us happy, whether that is reading a book by the beach, or it's renting a golf cart and roaming an island, or it's parasailing along the coastline. Whatever your heart desires, it is important to be able to live your life. So many of us take these day-to-day opportunities for granted, and then we find that we know people that would really appreciate those sunrises or those sunsets or the moments by the water that, you know, they can only see from heaven. Make sure you live your life and you get to experience it in the way that you know you want to. And 5, life waits for nobody, okay? Life waits for nobody. Anything can happen tomorrow. So what's the point of putting a momcation or a girls trip or anything along those lines on your bucket list if you know you're never going to get to it? Now is the time, ladies. Take this time to step away. We are all so overwhelmed. Well, half of us have kids, remote learning, hybrid. I know very few people that are going back full time, or I haven't really seen it talked about. But you know, we're burnt out, people. Whether it's your husbands, whether it's you, whether it's your kids, like, do whatever you guys need to do to kind of carve out the time you need for happiness and for moments and memories, because we clock in every day, clock out every day. We have the same ongoing routine, and we forget that there's so much out there in life to appreciate. So I highly suggest it. For me, I live in Jersey. This typically wouldn't be something I would do, coming to Florida and spending 5 days here by myself. Again, because of the circumstances that I was in, and just like Jersey being cold, it was snowing all the time. That's what I needed to process much more than just my mom time. But moving forward, I'd suggest that if you are interested in taking a momcation, do something that works for your family. So one thing my husband and I talked about was doing a weekend trip every 6 months. I'm not talking about like a weekend trip with my husband. I'm saying, let me check into a hotel in Philadelphia, go out to eat, sleep in, order food, watch TV every 6 months. I think I can do it. You know, if it's feasible, and you know, schedule those massages and those facials during those times, and just kind of pamper myself every 6 months. And I suggest the same thing for my husband as well. Just so you can find time to appreciate life and what you have. Because we are so truly lucky to be able to keep walking this earth and doing these things that we really truly take for granted. I think it's imperative that we just, again, take time. So every 6 months, I would suggest doing something closer to home. That way, if you are over it and you're just ready to get back to your day-to-day life, you can do that. And overall, maybe a momcation isn't for you. Maybe you've listened to this video and you're like, why would someone want to do all those things? I'm a mom, period. Kudos to you. That is what works for you. And I am so wildly impressed by women or men who are able to take on this role without a blink and without any weighted stress on their chest. But for those of you who need it, really listen to your body and your soul when it's telling you it's time. It was the most soul cleansing experience. I feel like I'm a stronger mom today than I was this time last week. I feel like I'm a stronger woman, period, than I was last week. And it's not because anything amazing happened. It was just because I was able to remember who I was before I had these responsibilities and this chaotic lifestyle. So those are all of my reasons why I think it's important that we take our momcations. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please check out my Sanibel review for those who are interested in a vacation in the States, don't want to go anywhere too wild and crazy, and just want a low-key vibe. I was wildly impressed with my trip, my do's and don'ts, and so much more in the next video.